Thank you very much for coming today to start our week. It's really wonderful to have you here on a very hot day, so we'll be cool in here. It brings me great pleasure to be here today to mark the celebration of the newest addition to the Art Project collection. And I'd like to extend my gratitude to June and to Anne and Virginia and Catherine for your unwavering commitment and dedication to the project. Before we proceed, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. And I pay my deep respects to the elders, both past, present, and emerging. For tens of thousands of years, we know the Gadigal women have been cultivating culture and sharing their experiences through art and song. And we gather here today and honour their profound legacy and continued custodianship of the land. As for myself, I originally come from Naarm, Melbourne, the traditional lands of the Kulin Nation. And Gadigal has now become my adopted home, where I have found new family, new friends, and inspiration for my own art. I feel privileged to be surrounded by such talented, emerging female artists who inspire us every day with their creativity and passion. So without further ado, I invite you to hear from June and Catherine's delightful presentation. And lunch will be served, so please enjoy today. Thank you.
Well, good morning, ladies, and welcome members and guests. I too would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we live, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. My name is June Young and I'm coordinator of the Art Project Committee and would like to reintroduce you to my fellow committee members, Miss Virginia Gordon, Dr. Anne Eland, and Miss Catherine Roberts. I'd like to thank them most sincerely for their wonderful enthusiasm and commitment over these years. We're delighted to have the President, Mrs. Jo Munro, at our special function. I'm not sure where Jo is. She was here a minute ago.
Yes.
And I would like to say a thank you to a past president, Miss Amanda Mark, who is in the wings, quietly waiting and ready to handle the technical system. Thank you very much.
Been having some challenges, June, but
we're with you.
We tried really hard with Danielle there.
And a special thank you to you, the donors, who are making all this possible. Without you, there'd be no art project to enjoy now, and for all those who follow on. We would sincerely welcome those who would like to join our group, and forms are on the table along with the brochure that Anne Eland has organised. As you'll be aware, we are unveiling our 7th purchase in the series of what will be 10 paintings in the Art Project, which was designed to promote women artists on the cusp of their careers. Today we announce that Marcella Caspar, with her beautiful painting called Tales of Times Past 2, that's the number 2, has been chosen to represent the artwork for the year 2022 in the Art Project collection. Marcella is not able to be with us today, but we have an absolute treat for you in store just for you. We have asked our very generous Catherine Roberts to speak to Marcella's work in the context of an illustrated talk on the subject of still life. Catherine Roberts is a senior curator of exhibitions and collections at Manly Art Gallery and Museum, where she works with artists from diverse disciplines to curate exhibitions and partnership projects with associated programs and learning programs. Over recent years, exhibitions for those such as Wendy Sharp, Luke Scabiris, Ewan MacDonald, and other high-profile artists are represented in the gallery's exhibition programs. Art lovers fully appreciated also the Destination Sydney exhibitions. These exhibitions were held in tandem with the S.H. Irvine, Mossman Gallery and Manly Gallery, where each of the galleries hosted different artists at their venue under the One Project banner. Her recent focus has been in exploring the intersection of art and science through large cross-disciplinary projects. She has also developed strong relationships across the field of ceramics due to the Manly Gallery's collection focus on contemporary and post-1945 Australian ceramics. Previously, Catherine has worked at the S.H. Irvine Gallery and the Museum of Contemporary Art, Sydney. She has also been on the board of the Regional Public Galleries Association of New South Wales, Pittwater Community Arts, and Arambu Artist Environment. She holds a Master of Arts Administration from the University of New South Wales Art and Design, and currently sits on the Art Project Committee for the Women's Club Sydney. We are very privileged to have Catherine, who is steeped in knowledge, activity, and love of art, to address us today. Please make welcome Catherine Roberts.
Thank you very much, June, and hello everyone. So my role today is to provide a curatorial introduction to the genre of still life painting, and then to introduce you to the work of Marcella Caspar. And I'm the lucky one looking at the work right now, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it and get up and have a good look at it. When I was chatting earlier to Margaret, I was saying that it was just like a tapestry. It's got this beautiful matte finish, and it's a lovely, really beautifully positioned, I think. We took a lot of care with redesigning the room and moving some of the artworks so that it shone for today's presentation. So by way of a quick recap, over the last 6 years, we have brought to the collection, the abstract work on paper by Belinda Fox, The Mysterious Landscape of Eleanor Millard, the 3D digital work of Louise Allerton, a bird portrait by, as she calls it, by photographer Leila Jeffries, 2 small abstract studies by painter Catherine Edney in the foyer, a dramatic painting of the wet season by First Nations artist Sarita King, also in the foyer, and now a still life oil painting, Tales of Times Past by Marcella Caspar. As I'm sure you know, a still life is a work of art depicting mostly inanimate subject matter, commonplace objects which are either natural, like flowers, shells or fruit, or man-made, like books or drinking glasses, or a combination of the two. Still life painting emerged as a distinct genre in Western painting in the late 16th century during the Renaissance period. The paintings are often contained with religious and allegorical symbols within the depicted objects. Even I was interested to learn that trompe-l'oeil painting, which intends to deceive the viewer into thinking the scene is real, is also regarded as still life. Because of the use of plants and animals as subjects, the still life category also shares commonalities with zoological and botanical illustration. However, with visual or fine arts, the work is not intended to depict the subject accurately. The avant-garde movements of the early 20th century rapidly evolved and overlapped in a march towards non-figurative abstract works. We can think of Gauguin, Matisse, Cézanne, their work of this period, and later Morandi with his minimalist works depicting bottles and jugs on shelves. Andy Warhol's pop art soup cans are distinctly and instantly recognisable for the still life screen prints that they are. Nowadays, still life works can be produced with a variety of media and technology, such as photography and computer graphics, and appear as 3D installation. So basically, nowadays, anything goes. In Australia, countless historical artists have worked in the still life genre as part of their art practices or as sole foci. High-profile contemporary artists such as Jude Ray and Cressida Campbell can be credited with leading a revival in the interest and popularity of the genre, which has become commercially and stylistically fashionable. Who went to the Cressida Campbell exhibition? Quite a few of you. Me too. I have selected a number of still life works from Manly Art Gallery and Museum's permanent collection to show you today, and which will might resonate with you. Now, this is by Margaret Cohen, whose work you may know. It's actually a beautiful pinky colour. The vase is blue. The vase looks perfect. And her daughter, Meg Stewart, who is a journalist with the Herald, and some of you are nodding your heads, she is a good friend of the gallery and donated a few works by her mother, her late mother, to our collection. And this one is just a beautiful little watercolour on paper and originally framed from 1940 of geraniums. This is by Evelyn Chapman, beautiful pink gladioli with Chinese figurine. And it was donated by Pamela Talbot Ball, who's the artist's daughter. And Evelyn Chapman passed away in 1961, originally an English artist, but she's left an incredible legacy, which some of you may know, to the National Trust, the S.H. Irvine Gallery. Every 2 years they award $50,000 to an artist who's under 45 years old, male or female. And so, the artist who won last year is one we've been looking at King Street Gallery. She lives in Bathurst. Rachel Ellis, thank you. And they have to use the money to go on to extend their art practice and their education. So could be further training, could be travel, and that is, just an incredible legacy for Pamela, the daughter, to leave, the nation really. Then we have Rachel Newling. And this is, she used to live on the Northern Beaches. Now she's moved up to northern New South Wales, and it's Banksias and Dryadra from 2019. Beautiful hand-coloured lino print on Japanese paper. And this is by an Aboriginal artist whose work from Yuendamu, whose work's in our collection. It's called Native Fuchsia Dreaming. And I thought that would expand, inclusion of this would expand our understanding of perhaps what a still life is and can be. Jurgis Mikčevičius, who was a Lithuanian immigrant. His daughter lives in the Blue Mountains, and we curated an exhibition of his work with Arthur Murch's work, and even though the artists didn't know each other, there was a similar period, and this really robust, strong still life. It's just a little bit more emerald colour here, and she donated that through the Cultural Gifts program, which has been an incredible source of acquisitions for Manly Art Gallery and Museum. And then we come to Ken Doan, who is, who's very popular, always been a great donor to public galleries, and he's had an exhibition at Nunangula recently, the new Southern Highlands Regional Gallery, and he is born in 1940. He's really having a wonderful later revival in the public galleries. And I went to the National Portrait Gallery, and his self-portrait is still on display, which is a really fabulous work. And then we come to things like this, in terms of expanding, what a still life could be. This is Chuck Bradley, who lived on Scotland Island for years, and he created this instrumental series because he worked with a lot of musicians, and this is a drumstick bag that he has put almost on a light box and photographed, and it's the list of the songs that Midnight Oil was playing at that particular gig. And that's in our collection, in our photographic collection. And actually, that looks pretty accurate. That is by Belinda Fox, our Belinda Fox. So now there are two in the room. And she has just donated that last year through the Cultural Gifts program from her recent exhibition at Art House Gallery. And it's a print, a etching woodcut collage on paper. She's very experimental. And when she suggested that we have one in our collection, of course, our collection being ceramics, this came to us through the Cultural Gifts program. So we're hoping to put this up on display in our ceramics gallery. And then this, which is really orange and vibrant, this is a little view. It says private collection, and guess whose collection that is? Yeah. So I just photographed it for the talk. She is a Polish immigrant, lives in Avalon. She went to the National Art School, and it's a still life. That's the flowers on our kitchen bench, and that's the little slither of our bookcase, and there's a little painting of a book of Rembrandt, which she's noticed. You know, where you see things differently through the eyes of artists. And that was a commission. We commissioned her to create that. Up the top is actually a black chicken timber sculpture of a black chicken bending over and looking down at all of the, bric-a-brac and things that we've collected over the years. So I also wanted to show you some of the works in Cressida Campbell's recent exhibition. And interestingly, she was born in 1960, the same year as Marcella. So to give you a little bit of context. The very first room you entered, as you'll remember, was dedicated to her still life woodblocks and woodblock prints. Combining keen observation with a delicacy of line, Campbell's woodblock paintings and prints capture the overlooked beauty of the everyday. Through her views of the working harbour or burnt bushland, an arrangement of nasturtiums or a plate of ripening persimmons, the artist celebrates the transitory moments of life. The wall label to the entrance of the exhibition is, in fact, you would have noticed it was so educational and so personal, and the words like love and heartfelt, and it was a really beautiful tribute to her as a woman and as such a prolific creative artist. It says the language of light, colour, the outlines of objects, form, the repetition of shapes, pattern, the treasured things, collecting. So everything that goes into her art practice and the technical side of her work was discussed. So each image offers a seemingly effortless balance between design and subject. Here we have details of some of the works in the exhibition. So this is from Nasturtiums from 2002. This one, you will probably recognise some of these, her shell collection from 2010. The kitchen shelf, part of the kitchen shelf, it's a very long work, and you can even buy this work as a concertinaed brochure, and we bought one. They're only $20 or something, and so I've got it on my shelving, and it's showing this at the moment, folded in two, and then you can change it just to keep it fresh and to keep enjoying her little vignettes of her home. And then the last one by Cressida is this beautiful Lilies and Lemons with Nonya vase from 2006. So now I'll move on to Marcella. The Art Project Working Group has been looking for a still life painting for a number of years. knowing how at home the right still life painting would be at the club. Marcella was born in 1960, and I'm now referring to Anne's excellent brochure, thank you, with some biographical details of the artist. She was born in Prague. She now lives in Sydney, and her education has included a degree in law at the University of Sydney. How appropriate, Anne. Afterwards, she turned her attention to art, and so has spent since 1994, she trained at the Julian Ashton Art School. From 1997, she has had a full-time studio practice in oil, based in Sydney. Her works in oils on linen and focuses on the beauty and repetition in nature. She aims to capture moments in the life of her subjects, concentrating on perceiving and refining light and dark through the 17th century techniques of opaque layering with transparent glazing. The paintings are tapestries of colour and tonal studies emerging out of receding dark spaces. Marcella regards her paintings as studies of complex tonal variations, with an emphasis on colour relationships. They aim to capture changeability and the delicate nuances of colour. The proportional scale of the paintings, which is very satisfying, invites the viewer into a relationship with the work that envelops you into an embrace or meditation to focus on its beauty and stillness. Marcella writes, "There is an observation in my work, an obsession in my work with the ephemeral nature of flowers and how they reflect the transient nature of life. There is also a constant fascination with the transparency of water and the play of light, colour, temperature and atmosphere that makes up the subject." Here we have a selection of her recent work, but I do invite you to look at her website as well as that of Wagner Contemporary, where we purchase the work, and to learn more and to see more of her works. This is a very soft pink rendering of the peonies, and done just this year. Oh, and you saw Peaceful Dreams there. That is white with little elements of pink in the hearts of the flowers. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, this dedication to still life and to painting flowers just runs through her whole body of work. Very consistent. This is the dark flower down the bottom is a bright red contrasting with the white, but it says the title of it is "It's Not All Black and White. Colour My World," done probably during lockdown in 2020. And then you can see that this is ours, Tales of Times Past, painted in 2021. And we had it framed in a beautiful thin white box frame, which we think really lifts the work and frames it and contains it even more, reinforces that sense of containment. So thank you again for your support of this program and for letting me play a part in bringing the work of a new generation of artists onto your walls and into the story of female creativity supported by members of the Women's Club. Thank you.